What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Lunar Beaches Crypto, where we ride the waves of the crypto market all the way to the moon. So today, or in this video, we're going to be going over VWAP. And so, but so far we've gone over structure, market structure for direction. We've gone over supply and demand for location, and we've gone over reaction and volume for confirmations. So today we introduce the VWAP. And so it is not a signal generator. It is a tool that helps provide context for the market. So it helps us answer one question: is price expensive or cheap relative to the participation? And how it does that is, so VWAP stands for volume weighted average price. And so what that means, it's essentially the average price traded weighted by volume over a session. Now, that's the standard anchor period for a standard VWAP, is a session-based anchor, which means as soon as Asia opens, the VWAP gets reset, starts over, and then it starts running for the next session. So the reason why VWAP matters and why institutions care about VWAP is because it shows the average execution price, and you're not chasing they're not chasing extremes, and you're transacting near fair value. So VWAP represents where business was done. How price behaves around VWAP is key to understand. So above VWAP, price is trading at a premium. Below VWAP, price is trading at a discount. But that does not mean that if you're above, you sell, or if you're below, you buy. It's all about context and not direction. So when we are looking at VWAP, we want to make sure we're checking our market structure. So is our market structure bullish? Are we creating higher highs and higher lows? Do we pull back to VWAP? In this instance, we just hovered above VWAP all day. Now this is starting at the Sunday or Monday open, rather, which happens Sunday night at the Asia Open. That's when the VWAP gets reset for the session and then gets going. So now we're up to Monday at market open. And in a second, we'll go over what happens here. Okay. So, but before we get into that, another thing I want to point out is that VWAP, you can kind of think of it as like a dynamic support and resistance, if you will. So if you break above it and you're trending, you haven't swept any highs over to the left, and you've got a nice bullish market structure, well, when you return to VWAP, you want to see a reaction at VWAP, and you can take a long trade. If you're breaking above it, you come back down to it, you get a bullish reaction off it. Okay, institutions, big money, whoever, looks like they've got some orders filled down there, and they're going to try and push the price higher. How it always happens. As always, you've got to look for the reaction, and you've got to have the full context of what's going on. So VWAP and supply and demand can go hand to hand. So here we have supply marked off. That is the last candle on this 3-minute chart, and blocked that off. And you can see that on market open, we actually pushed up into that level, sweeping these highs, but then closing below this high. And then the next candle, we get a close below VWAP. So given that context, we also broke this low over here. Okay, so given that context, what do you think will be the next move? Just based on everything that we've gone over so far. It doesn't predict reversals. Again, we look for the reactions. So we reject supply. We come below VWAP. So now, and we break a swing level. So now I will be looking for potential shorts. So we can just press play. Let's see what the next candles do. And of course, you go right down to demand, to the demand zone. So that's going to be your take profit level. You also have an increase in volume here on that spike up, and then the volume just really increases, move down. So that's really helping you maybe stay in a trade, because you see, okay, volume, the participation in this market is sell. Okay, so you can just ride that wave to the downside, to the demand zone, and there you go. So we're adding supply, we're getting context with our VWAP, we're getting context with our market structure, the break of this low, right there. And we also get a candle body close below this low and that low. So that would be a nice little 3 candle move there. You're in and out in 9 minutes. That's all it takes, is 9 minutes. And you make some money, and you see what happens at that demand zone. So one important note is that, like I said, VWAP resets at each session. So that's why it's most useful for intraday trading, for understanding session behavior, and for spotting mean reversion versus trend days. Now, you can add a bands multiplier to this. So this will show you extremes on the upper end and the lower end. And we can add all 3. You see, there you go. So you see us go straight down to that 3rd deviation band. And that is where you are more likely, I will say, to get a potential reversal. So if I just press play, it may not even reverse here. I'm not sure. Yeah, see, it just keeps pushing down. And look at the VWAP. VWAP is pointing down hardcore. So you're getting a lot of weighted sells in this move. So TP1, TP2 at the low, and then you let the rest ride. We'll get into actual trades later on, but for now, that's VWAP. In the next video, we'll go over anchored VWAPs, and then how to anchor value to key swing levels and events instead of just sessions. And then, because sometimes the market remembers more than just one day, so you got to remember that. So I often like to actually have both a session and a weekly and a monthly VWAPs, and yeah, we'll go over all of that later. So thank you guys for watching this video. Like and subscribe if you would, please, and let me know what you think and if I helped explain this at all. Hopefully I help you understand it a little bit better, but you know, I plan on having more advanced videos for all the topics that I've gone over, and we'll just build from there. So right now we're just kind of building a baseline for trading that we can then expand on. So it's like a foundation, and then we can build from there. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Mad love. Peace out. God bless. Ride the waves. Bye.